Tales from the Podcast is brought to you by the following generous sponsorships.
The Happy Hour News Team. Check them out at www.happyhournewsteam.com.
TalesFromThePodcast.com, where you can pick up your copy of Tales of Shock and Terror #1. The Skewered Universe Podcast. And viewers like you.
Hey there, how's it going?
What up, bitches?
I'm back.
So,
He's back. The man behind the mask.
the herpes outbreak's
Yep.
over with.
And I'm out of control. What's that?
I said the herpes.
What are you talking about? The
outbreak's
herpes
over
you
with?
gave me?
Well, I mean,
Yes, it's over. And you'll be getting my bill.
When you ask for it, Ron, you can't be mad.
Hey, just because I wanted to add management skills to my resume.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to do that. It involves herpes.
Yeah, that's
So how's
preferably herpes that you get at a college.
Oh God, yeah. And
Shut up, Trekopedia. It is not.
Oh, wow.
Although, hold on. Best in the world!
Wait.
Sorry.
Oh,
I just had to do that.
didn't
Also,
hear
it's clobbering time.
Oh, Sally. Ron's got herpes, and it was pretty.
I got it from
out of
JB.
control.
I believe it's actually pronounced gonosyphoherpalade.
I mean, it's very possible. Hey, Sean, how's it
That's
going?
what that
man?
is. Yes.
So,
What's up, Sean?
anyways, before we get too involved,
CM
with
Punk's
everything-
return was better than the last 8 things that AEW has done. I'm just gonna say it. And the devil is MJF, and they're ripping off the higher power storyline from WWE. And when they do that, I never want to hear about that fucking company again, ever.
And remember, go to talesfromthepodcast.com and get this comic book. It's better than
Yes.
CM Punk in every way.
Hey now. Yes, intern. I'm fully aware I shouldn't have done that.
I know that Jeff would agree with me. I know he's not a very big fan of CM Punk. I checked out your Renfield episode, which I 100% disagree with you on that movie, but it's okay.
I still need to see it. What do you guys?
It's a funny, fantastic film.
It has Nicolas Cage, and there's nothing that funny, fantastic in Nicolas Cage.
I want to see him in that new movie, that Dream movie. It looks good.
Thank you. See,
I still like AEW, but
dude.
Yeah, I'm no longer a Punk
Ah.
fan, but I'm entitled to my opinion, and Ron's entitled to his. Hey,
You know,
everyone can
That's-
like.
yeah,
who
I
they
am,
like.
but
you guys
I
and
never
all these
thought I'd
new
say this,
wrestlers, I swear, it's fucking crazy.
Punk's been around forever.
Dude,
I
my wrestling
never thought
knowledge
I'd say this.
ends at the Attitude Era. Okay, no, Punk is a new wrestler.
Well, you're missing some good shit.
Nah,
Well, here's the thing. Here's a couple
I'm
of
not
things
seeing
that bug
Shawn
me.
Michaels
A couple
or
of things.
DX, and that's all I cared about.
Well, Shawn Michaels is running NXT, but here's 2 things. 1, Bryan Danielson is a little fucking bitch, and number 2, I never thought I'd say this, but Kenny Omega is the more mature one in the Elite. I never thought I'd say that in my life.
Yeah, I don't agree with your take on Danielson, but hey, that's he wasn't the actual.
Oh, come on, man. He was part.
He was a part of it,
But he was still part of it.
Nobody.
I would have said I don't want to be part of it.
True, but I think
He sided with the
Danielson-
Office over the boys.
I think Danielson is also one of the guys that could probably look at it from a more neutral point of view. He can separate himself from the locker room and separate himself from the company and look at it down the middle, not looking at it as a legal side, not looking at it as protect the boys, looking at it as, okay, if I was an outside person looking at this, what would be the best way to go? That's just the way I see it.
Well,
I mean,
he also, you know what, basically by him saying it was okay for them to fire him, at the end of the day, they just made WWE a shit ton of money.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they did. I mean, that's fine.
And if you look at the people that they have to, if you look at the amount of people they have to write for between now and Mania, Orton, Punk,
7 people.
McIntyre, Roman, Rollins, LA Knight, Gunther. I mean, come on.
They are stacked. I will say that. I just haven't been
Yeah.
too into a lot of what they've done.
Why do I feel like all?
But
those
it seems
people
more
would get
interesting.
their
I'm
asses
just
whooped
not
by
as
Bubba?
interested in a what?
I'm trying to.
I think the
reel
only
it back
person who'd have a
in.
chance against
Worth it.
the only person who would have a chance against Bubba is Gunther, because he would just chop him in the chest, and Bubba would be like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
I will
Although,
say
did you
his
see-
vocabulary in this movie.
Speaking
is
of Gunther, did you hear who he said chopped him the hardest that he had to step back and be like, "What the hell?" Penta.
Was it? Oh shit.
Pentagon.
Yeah.
Pentagon Jr.
So
goes,
there you go, Sally.
he goes, Pentagon chopped me. And I was like, what the hell? 'Cause he goes, it actually hurt. And no one's, I'm like, okay. And I've heard that Penta chops hard, but I've heard also that, like,
how hard?
I think Trent Beretta has one of the hardest chops
Hard enough
out
to
there.
give you herpes. What?
But
Is that what happened, Ron?
yeah,
Is that the real story?
Walter or Gunther, whichever one.
No,
you
I got
wanna
him from
call it.
you.
Yeah. All right. Keep saying that.
Yeah, Gunther, Walter. He's
Only because it's true. He is.
Ah.
And there's talk about him in Brock at Mania, and I'm all in.
Oh yeah,
That's still legal. I don't know how you can get in trouble for it.
well, think about it.
They
The
cut
dude's,
the
like,
they cut the promo when you finally watched
they
it.
cut the promo, and I can.
Even Sting was like, "Huh?"
I mean, it is pretty much how Ric Flair's career has gone the entire time he's been a professional wrestler. That's always how it's been. At a certain point, though, when you have an episode of Dark Side of the Ring that kind of brings to light how bad you can be at times, but then also you have someone hiring him that blatantly called out Vince McMahon for the same kind of shit, I'm kind of pissed off about that. 'Cause it's like you went back on your word. But I think that was more because
Although
the energy drink company was like, we'll take care of most of his contract. We just really want the promotion, and he's tied to it. But at the end of the day,
So
Well,
welcome
here's the
to
thing is he
Tales
says
from the
he-
wrestling.
Well, no, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Besides, what do you guys think of my glasses? Aren't they amazing? But Flair said that he'd walk away if after the promo, and I think that might be his way of getting out of the contract.
I could be. So he was like,
I
I
didn't know
just
he
want
was
to be
still
next.
alive.
There were
He's not
people.
stupid.
There were some
He's not
people
stupid.
immediately. No, there were some people that were saying like, "Oh, he's gonna wrestle Sting." I'm like, "There's no way AEW is
Sting's
gonna
still
allow him to
around?
wrestle." I was like,
He's
AEW would have
retiring
to.
in March.
Yeah, Sting is
Who
gonna
is?
have one last match, and
No
yeah,
thanks,
I
Colin.
don't think as
I didn't know he
crazy as
had a
some of the
drink.
ideas Tony has had, I don't think he's crazy
Yeah, Woo
enough to
Energy.
let Flair get in the ring at his age. Although I do agree with some people
Sting
saying
wouldn't do it.
Flair's got the idea that he should probably die in the ring. I
You mean like
I'm
Lawler?
not too sure that's too off base, but I do not want to test
Yeah.
that Ric Flair energy drink. It's some mushroom elixir bullshit.
It says.
Although, by the way, all this wrestling talk is because of Trekopedia. He's the one that brought up Punk right away. It's all his fault. You bring up CM Punk to me, and I lose my shit.
It goes out of control. So, well, let's bring up one of the greatest movies of all times. Ron's favorite movie. We're going to be talking about
Thunderpants.
Oh, I thought we were talking about 2017 Leatherface.
Actually, we're going to
Oh
be
my
talking
god, I'm
about.
sick to my stomach again.
We're going to be talking about Thanksgiving.
Don't say his name. I fucking knew you were gonna say that, you piece of shit.
Wasn't it your
No,
favorite
the holiday.
director that did
The
it?
holiday.
Was it Ron? Man, I'm trying to think who did that movie. I know Ron said he really enjoyed that director.
You know what's real? Okay, hold on. You know what's really funny about this? Is I have to put up with this shit from intern, but I can mute y'all motherfuckers.
I just had to do it once. It's not going to happen again. I promise.
All right.
Well, on the
You
show,
fucking
I
better
will
not.
tell
We're in the
you-
group chat talking about tonight. We're in the group chat talking. Let's just be fucking transparent. We're in the group chat talking about this tonight, and this motherfucker puts up a gif of that son of a bitch who was supposed to be Adam Sandler from Inglourious Bastards, and I was just like, nah, you are not the bear Jew. You're the guy who got picked on and became a douchebag.
Oh, that was so funny. Well, one thing that we do need to talk about with people, because we have been asked about it and we've talked about it too, how we weren't 100% sure how we were going to go about this. Well, we decided that
anal.
There you go. All right, so Ron's gonna bend over. We got lots of lube.
Wait, we're doing an Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, you said you wanted the back.
As long as you guys high five while you're doing it, we're fine.
As long as I get
We weren't gonna high five.
full
We were
on
gonna
eye
just hold
contact the
hands
entire
whole
time.
Yes, we stare at each other and we hold each other's hands the whole time.
Just say sweet nothings.
Sweet nothings.
No words of encouragement.
No,
you can do it.
Actually,
Keep going.
I
Keep
think we should sing "Sweet Caroline" to each other the entire time.
Oh no!
And then while you guys are doing it, I'll just say I'll say very clearly, even though there's supposed to be something in my mouth, I'll very clearly say, "Is it in either hole yet, guys?"
It's all that dude drama. Those high-paid actors are in the entertainment for showcasing those lady athletes. So that is my dad, and he's a fan of wrestling, but he's more a fan of women wrestling than any other kind of wrestling out there. So there
What's
you
up,
go.
Papa JB?
Oh man,
my dad would be in here saying, "Where's the tits?"
I mean,
and then I would have to. Oh no, I'm not doing that.
All right. Well, anyways, we've been asked about it, so we're going to go ahead and tell you guys the format of this Texas Chainsaw franchise that we are going to be tackling. And we say that because let's just be 100% honest. There are some movies in here that are, for a lack of a better way of saying it, just fucking garbage. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't belong there. I mean, right, for instance, say we were going to do Nightmare on Elm Street. Would we do the remake? Fuck no. That's a piece of shit. So we would never.
What remake?
Exactly. So there are certain things that we are choosing
I don't know what you're talking
to
about.
avoid, but we will talk about them here for a second. So the order that we are going to be going in is 1974 tonight. Then we'll do Texas Chainsaw 2, 3, The Next Generation. Then we are going to do 3D. And then we are going to do the 2022 film. Now, not saying the 2022 film is good. It's still not the greatest thing ever. But it's kind of hard to ignore the continuity of it being part of it. So
yeah, we're going canonical as much as we can.
So with that being said, let's just start off right now. Leatherface, I give it a 1. It's a piece of shit fucking movie. Jeff?
I've never seen Leatherface. I had no interest after I saw the trailer.
All right, Ron?
Can I give negative points?
Yes, go ahead.
A -5.
All right. So there you go. There's our review of Leatherface, so we're not doing that one. All right.
I actually like Alexander Daddario, except for that one line. Oh, actually, there's 2 lines in that movie that I can't stand. We'll talk about that when we do the movie.
We're not doing Leatherface. That's why I said it.
No, I hit like 3D. He's talking about.
Oh,
3D.
sorry. I'm not even looking at that. We are also not going to be doing the 2006 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. That is also a piece of shit fucking movie, and nobody needs to even give it credit. if you are watching this part of the show later on, just skip about 2 minutes so that you don't even hear about these movies because they're not worth your time.
Oh, and Alex, what's his name? Alex Borniarski or whatever.
Bernarski, yeah.
Whatever.
Andrew
Fuck him.
Bernarski.
Andrew Bernarski.
Fuck
You know
him.
what? Hold on. Can you pull me up big screen for just a second? I got a message for him.
One.
Fuck you. I just want to say, I'm not an elderly man. So if you want to make little
Kind of.
pictures of me, fuck off. I'm middle-aged. If you want to make little pictures of me like you did Gunner and run your fucking mouth, go right ahead. Because see, you're a kid if you do that. Because he thinks that a lot of people think that he was a better Leatherface than you. Oh my God, guess what? The consensus is he was. So get over yourself, grow a sack, see if they're going to make another Street Fighter movie, and get your fucking thumb out of your ass.
I hope they make another Street Fighter movie.
Why? It killed Raul Julia.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
all right.
I mean,
and
there's two. That's enough.
we are also going to be skipping the 2003 The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just not worth anybody's time.
And if anybody wants to know what the hell I was bitching about, ask me and I'll tell you. Because fuck that guy.
Just don't ask him.
I'm just surprised. I shouldn't be surprised because I've heard Bernarski is fucking crazy. But the fact
Yeah.
that he's still harping on the fact that he wasn't the best Leatherface, like
When Gunner died, he posted like negative shit on Facebook, like, oh well. Like, fuck.
I heard
you,
about that.
pal.
It's like you're not the icon from that
No.
franchise.
No.
I didn't go to a convention to get a picture taken with you, have you sign my book, and then and see, that's the best thing about Gunner, man. And this is why he was playing such against type, is because he's I don't want to use the term auteur because that's more of a filmmaking thing, but he's definitely an educated guy, and he sat there and showed me these things that people sent him that Borniarski had made. Like him shitting on it. It's like all because Gunner said one thing. He's like, "This is how Andrew Borniarski shuts the door in the remake," and he's like struggling to shut the metal door. He's like, "This is how Leatherface is supposed to shut it," and he slams it like he's supposed to.
Right.
You know, and that's because Borniarski's a little fucking Hollywood bitch,
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
and it's like, and that
I
was
will
a
say
little tiny
Gunner is
joke.
the best.
I mean,
What?
did he have an imposing figure to play Leatherface? Yeah, if that's what you were going for, fine. The problem is, let's not forget, this guy played Christopher Walken's son in Batman Returns, okay? And did a half decent Christopher Walken impression, but that's it. Then he was Zangief.
Wait a minute.
All because he was muscular.
That's for real. He treats animals like garbage, because now I just got no reason to like the guy at all. I got no fucking respect for him.
Yeah, I heard he even he threatened people at a horror hound once for autographs. I'm like, you don't do that, you
Jesus.
psycho.
You know what's really funny? You know what's really funny is the only person who's ever portrayed Jason in any sense of the word and is a douchebag is Warrington Gillette. And the problem with him isn't
Ari
that he,
Lehman.
I think we would all rather deal with Ari Lehman than Warrington Gillette.
yes, I would. And I actually have a connection to Ari Lehman if I needed it, which is sad. But and even he, as the biggest douchebag on the planet, isn't nearly as bad as Borniarski.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like he just ignores when people say, "Hey, you weren't really Jason." You know, and even though it's true, what's going on, Chevy? How's it? Honestly, how you living, son?
Oh God.
How you living, boy?
What?
How you living,
All right.
In
Well,
the-
anyways, guys, we're 20
It's
minutes.
gonna lead back
into
to punk talk. Stop it.
I am going to reel this back in because, guys, we are talking about probably. I would argue it might be one of the most influential horror films of all time.
Definitely top 3.
Mhm.
I mean, I was gonna say top 5 just out of habit, but I could see top 3 as well. I mean, top 3. I mean, it's definitely up there.
I would put it at number 2
Yeah.
on my list
Number 2.
because
your number
it
one?
was Night of the Living Dead, because it was because he actually says in multiple interviews that he was inspired by Night of the Living Dead, which came out 5 years before, 68, 73. Yeah. So it's, and it inspired him. And that, the story of Ed Gein that his Wisconsin relatives would tell him, and him being in a J.C. Penney. Remember those kids?
I still got one by me.
I have one in Kenosha, and it's just too long of a fucking drive. And
there's one near me too.
so I'll just order it. But you know what? They're the best place to get cheap fat guy stuff.
I wish they still had a place where you could go get big wheels of cheese and deli meats, but
It's Wisconsin. That's my neighbor's house. What are you fucking talking about?
you know what I'm talking about. Dawn of the Dead, man.
Dave is right there.
Oh, I know all about Ed Gein.
Oh, I do too. In fact, I'll save it. I'll save it. Trust me.
Okay.
It's good. I also want to say that I'm kind of curious because you did your 1, your 2. What's your 3? Because I can't, even though I don't think the Living Dead series is great, I can agree with you that it is one of the most influential.
Oh, I'm not going to say survival is no, but
I think the series as a whole is very
good. Good outweighs the bad.
Not by much, though, in my opinion.
Number 3 for me.
Because I'm curious, because if I'm doing top 3, we might have the same 3 in a different order.
Well, what's your third?
Black
or what would
Christmas.
be? See, I don't.
The original Black Christmas.
Yeah, but you have a thing for that movie.
I absolutely love the original. But
And
you can't argue though that it is.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's great. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is for me, I think I don't know if Black Christmas is it's definitely in the top 10 of influential films, but there's got to be. I think there was something else that. Because Black Christmas, they were already doing the Giallo stuff by 74 when that came out. And that had a very Giallo feel to it. And remember that thing, Giallo, that a certain person who we all used to know had no idea what we were talking about? What's Giallo? Oh, I'm just down here in Louisiana sucking on people's shoes that they leave at Mardi Gras.
Jesus Christ.
Looking up kids' dresses. What?
I would say a close third for me would be Carnival of Souls.
That's another good one. I would also. You know what? I'm gonna go outside the box on this one. And
just because you think Peter Pan is scary doesn't mean it can be influential.
Hey, that kid was fun. I'm gonna say the Phantom Carriage.
All right.
The Phantom Carriage was very, very, very old, and they did a lot of shit that you shouldn't have been able to do back then. You know.
Fair. What about you, Jeff? If you gave your top 3, where would you throw it? How would you do yours?
It's kind of along the same lines, although I don't know of a third. It's really thinking about it.
It's Night and Chainsaw. Night. Yeah.
And I will say, because the modern slashers, and when I say modern slashers, I mean that gamut of the end of the 70s into the 80s was so influenced by Black Christmas that I kind of have to say, as far as just the slasher genre in general, and some thrillers.
I mean, you're talking a huge section
crime dramas that are kind of still influenced by that with the way the killer acts. So I think those 3, I mean, Chainsaw, Night of the Living Dead, and Black Christmas are 3 of the most influential. They're definitely.
Have you seen Phantom Carriage?
I have not. I've seen clips of it, but I have.
It is so fucking good.
Have you seen?
I've seen some of the stuff, and I like.
Yes,
I've seen the original Carnival of Souls, and I saw the '90s version.
I never saw the '90s version. Yeah. Why would they remake that? That's stupid.
Yeah,
people are dumb and love money.
They remade this one,
and it's got the comedian. What is his name?
Maybe Andrew Borniarski's going to be in the third remake.
Fucking Carlos Mencia.
No, it's not Carlos Mencia. It's
or George Lopez, whichever one. Oh
my God, what is his name? I'm drawing a complete blank. Okay, have you guys seen the Nutty Professor movies with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that played the director of the school or whatever, the university, that white comedian. I can't remember his name now.
Oh, I just looked up the thing. All right, so
We'll get there,
let's see.
Trekopedia. Just relax. Just relax.
Let's
Was it Wes
see.
Craven?
Larry
Presents-
Miller.
Larry Miller. Larry Miller. That's
Fuck, I hate him so much. Just like you look at his
Yeah.
face, you want to punch him.
Yeah.
yeah. He was in that, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Then I saw the original. I went,
Jesus.
"Oh, okay. Well, Herc Harvey actually knew what he was doing." I don't know what the fuck was going on with that remake. Don't watch it.
Trash. All right. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this though. So we're going to be talking about the 1974 film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And what can be said about this movie that hasn't already been said by Joe Bob Briggs?
I mean,
And yes,
should we
fucking
just
hell.
should we just
Night of the
pause it?
Hunter is fucking. If you have not seen Night of the Hunter, there is something wrong in your filmic life. You need to see that
Yeah,
fucking movie.
I still have to see it.
Oh my god, it is so good.
Just curious, Ron. Should we just say pause this podcast, go watch Joe Bob do this one, and then come back? Like,
I mean, we've already killed 25 minutes, so just get
Like,
Shudder, go watch Dinners of Death.
You're not wrong. I mean,
I actually have the 73,000 word thing that he wrote about Chainsaw, and I had to go get it printed out, and it cost me $35.
no, this was a Tobe Hooper film.
Yes.
I will say that his career as of late's been pretty rough.
It's also been it's been a kind of a dead career.
I mean, some would say, I mean, he's buried. That just it's
Okay, all right, just relax. You know what's funny? What's funny is my lady friend's been sick all week, and so have I. And
That's
so,
funny.
well, no, let me finish.
Okay.
While I'm at work, we've been watching movies together, and she wanted to go through the Friday the 13th franchise because she hadn't seen a lot of them. And we get to part 2, and the machete in the face, the wheelchair comes up, and she sees this big smile go on my face. She's like, "You really like that one, huh?" And I'm like, "It's my favorite kill ever."
It's
and she's like, "Well, tell me something about that," because she knows I know a lot of that shit. And my response was, "Jason saved that guy years of AZT bills."
No, is it weird that?
And the funny thing is like how cruel that was, and I still think you're being too hard on Toby.
I want to.
Hey, it's not my internet. I got a new computer, so I'm good now, corny. But thanks for chiming in.
Now, is it weird that we go from Texas Chainsaw to, or Friday the 13th to Texas Chainsaw, and I would say arguably both franchises' best deaths involve
early on.
Well, they involve wheelchairs.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, it is fucking great when a cripple gets killed.
Well, I wouldn't say great. But...
Okay, that's not the reason I feel Franklin deserved it. The reason Franklin deserved it is because hey, wheelchair or not, he was a insufferable fucking whiny ass bitch.
Yeah.
If I have any more fun, I don't know if I can take it.
Sally, shut the fuck up.
I would have smacked him. I would have.
I would have found a hill and pushed him down and been like, "Try to get back yourself, motherfucker."
I would argue Black Christmas did more than Chainsaw did.
I was gonna say the same thing. Black Christmas definitely did way more than Chainsaw.
Because Chainsaw is that's another thing is that what I love about this movie is people who've never seen it and want to talk shit about it claim it's like this super violent and over the top, bloody, gory movie. Like, no, not at all.
I mean, the more you get when he cuts his own hand.
Yeah, when I was in a psychology class I was going to school after college, after high school.
What year was that?
Oh, fuck. This was 98.
Yeah,
I'm old.
1898.
I was in elementary school.
Shut up. And this, first off, I think my professor was totally high on coke because she'd always talk about people on cocaine throughout the entire semester. It's like, look, all right, you're skin and bones, Iranian broad. You're probably high on the coke. I get it. It's fine. Just shut up about it. But she is one of those people who thought that Chainsaw was this big, gory, bloody movie. I'm like, there's no blood in the movie at all except for like on his hand. And there's dried blood on the back of her when she's running. But other than that, this is not, you don't see him cutting off Kirk's head. but you know what he's doing. You don't see blood coming down from Pam's back when she goes on the hook.
I would say the goriest thing really is there's two. One is the cutting of the hand. Two is when the chainsaw hits his leg at the end.
Yep.
That's it.
Right.
Those are the
But
only
and
two
neither
times
of
you
those
see
are the most
anything.
uncomfortable thing. The most
No.
uncomfortable scene is Grandpa sucking a finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. How fuck that? Now, that
What's so good about this movie is it's what your brain pieces together from all the bits you're given.
and that's where a lot of movies today have lost their way because everybody has access to technology with CGI. They don't want to make your brain work because everybody's brain or your attention span. Not you guys. Everybody watching this is fantastic, and I love you. And I want to snuggle.
It's the
but
people not
most people,
watching
this is their fucking attention span.
Mm.
That's why
TikTok
YouTube
generation.
Shorts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I mean, we have completely lost that whole make you think factor when it comes to a lot of modern
We've
horror.
also lost
I
that
mean-
love and feeling, but that's besides the point.
And like, don't get me wrong, I like when a movie has like gore, whether it be
Right.
over the top or
I-
realistic, but there has to be a point for it.
I agree
The
with
original
that.
Texas
It has to be
Chainsaw
practical
didn't need
too.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I prefer. Yeah, I way more prefer that.
You really want practical. The
I
thing
mean,
with
CGI
Texas
gore
Chainsaw,
and blood just fucking takes me out fast.
the thing with the
You're
original
telling me.
Chainsaw is it's all implied, but it's more messing with the heads of people. There's physical stuff happening, but it's never, oh, you got to see the penetration of the hook. You got to see, I mean, yeah, you see the guy get hit in the head with the hammer. That's not the worst part. The worst part is the way he's twitching on the floor after and then getting pulled away.
It's like in Red Letter Media when Mr. Plinkett says, and I quote, "You didn't notice it, but your brain did." It's all subconscious.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I mean, I don't know. I miss horror like that. We don't get a lot of it nowadays. I mean, now everyone thinks the best shit's like Terrifier, and it's completely fucking pathetic what the world's come to when it comes to a lot of modern horror, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is, there's not a lot of people, and I'll say this as I do like Terrifier 2. I will say this: the fact that they went with so much practical effects, I think, is one thing that's kind of in its favor, because so many of these bigger budget films think, well, it's easier to just CGI it and get it out of the way. It's cheaper. We can render it quick. It's
Right.
like, yeah, but there's an art to somebody creating something to put on screen that is a practical effect. And here's the thing, you don't get just one or two chances to do it in CGI. And I mean, let's look at it this way. Ron, I think JB, you guys saw the Flash movie, right?
I
What
saw
was
the
that?
Flash movie.
You guys saw the Flash movie, right?
Oh,
Both of you?
fuck
JB,
no.
have you seen it?
I was
Okay.
going to, and I was like, no.
The big issue with the CGI in that was they did not give that team enough time to finish those effects, and they totally look like it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So many of these movies, whether it be horror or whatever genre that's using them, a lot of these effects get rushed. So they don't look good. But you can rush a practical effect and still pull it off with proper lighting, proper angles, the proper way to shoot it, and you can get it done. And the good thing about practical is you can usually reset and shoot again.
Yeah.
But,
With
there's
CGI,
nothing-
you're getting like one time to try and match it to the scene. And if you don't get it right,
Well, I
they go,
mean,
well, just throw it in. It's like,
kind of you get one
fuck it.
time, but I mean, you got to work it. I mean, with CGI, I mean, you have more time, more chances. I mean, with practical effects, I mean, it costs money the more and more you have to redo it. With CGI, I mean, depending on, I guess, how you're paying the editor, it's not, it's probably a cheaper option in the long run.
You know what's really funny though is if you go back and you look at great effects moments that were practical, Kevin Bacon's death, they could only do that once, and there was a fuck up while they were doing it, and it still looks amazing.
It looks amazing. When you have the right people there to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time you hear they go, we didn't have a lot of money to get this done. And the thing is,
That's when you become creative. Look at Rodriguez.
Yeah. And I mean, look at what Savini has talked about, and these other guys are like, oh, we had to do a head explosion scene. We just went and grabbed what was ever on craft services, stuffed it in there,
When he talks about the head explosion scene in
Yeah.
Dawn, like they just take the mold of the head and they filled up everything they could, condoms filled with stuff, and then they just shot it with a shotgun.
I will
And
say
everybody
this.
was crowding around to watch it.
I'm okay with CGI to augment and clean up some stuff. If you can go in and clean up the edges of something, because you're like, oh, there's no way to shoot it where we wouldn't see some of the seams of the practical effect, that's perfectly fine. When you're relying on CG blood for something, you lose me because it never
Right.
looks
Well,
good.
it's like Romero used to say. He's like, CG has its purpose. Like, you don't need a CG blood scene, but you do need CG to get Lieutenant Dan's no legs in Forrest
Mhm.
Gump. You know what I mean? And it looked
Right.
good because they had, because they were focused on that one thing,
Mhm.
and it just,
Yeah.
Well, I think someone who does it well, and I know JB's not a huge fan, but I think Del Toro uses a good mix of practical with the CG to augment things.
I can't tell what his practical and what his digital is.
And see, that's what I'm saying.
What
The
makes you
digital
think I'm
comes
not a
in,
big?
and
What makes you think I'm not a fan of Del Toro?
I know you said you're not a huge fan of Del Toro like I am. You like some of his stuff, but I think I know you don't like
I
Blade
like
2.
more than I don't like of his.
I know you don't like Blade 2.
Blade 2's
Me?
amazing.
Like, I mean, all right. First off, if we're going to talk about Del Toro, I mean, he did one of
correct
my
me if I'm wrong,
all-time
that's-
favorite movies. I mean, Pan's Labyrinth is one of my
So good.
favorites.
Mhm.
I mean, I love that movie.
Okay,
Not-
I stand
you know,
corrected. Apologies.
Shape of
not-
Water
not-
got all the love it deserved and could have had
Mhm.
more shot on it.
Like even some of the other stuff that he's done is just incredible because he worked on all the Hobbit movies and all that shit too, and did a really good.
Well, that's why
job.
the Hobbit movies are darker than the Lord of the Rings movies because it had that Del
Right.
Toro feel.
And what Devil's Backbone? Fuck.
Oh, Devil's Backbone is so good.
I'll even argue, like, even though it's not a great movie, I still think Crimson Peak is a fun.
I
to
saw.
watch.
Okay,
Mhm.
it's funny you bring that up because I went to the theater, super excited for that movie, and I went with two friends of mine. One I'm still a friend with, the other whatever. They both hated it, and I fucking love that movie.
I
Crimson
like it.
Peak is amazing. I took the story behind it, and it just I loved it. I loved it. It was
Right.
great.
My wife went with one of her friends to see it when it came out. She walked away going, I don't like this. And she's a huge Del Toro fan.
Hmm.
So she goes, you need to come with me to the theater to see it. We saw it a second time. I was like, I really enjoyed it. She goes, yeah, you know what? On a second watch, I really liked it too. And the more she's seen it,
Because
she's
you got
like,
there's
yeah, I
so
do
much to
like it.
take in. There's so much to take in. I hate to
Right.
say this, but the vistas.
And it was so incorrectly marketed
Yeah,
because it is not a horror movie.
it's a gothic thriller.
Right.
It's like Del Toro said, it's a ghost story, it's like a love story with ghosts, basically. And
the
that
only
is it.
Flash, in my opinion, is the one from the 90s.
John Wesley Shipp.
And he was in the Flash TV series.
Yep, as Jay Garrick.
And also reprised that role as well.
Yep.
So
Hellboy. I'm gonna argue that's.
I think Ron Perlman's the best Hellboy, but I don't know about Del Toro that being his best movie.
No.
I think of the two
If you
Hellboy
haven't
movies, I
seen
think
Pan's
Golden Army was
Labyrinth,
better.
I mean, you
but-
definitely got to check that out before you say that.
Yeah. The Hellboy movies are fun, but they're not his best work. But I think they allowed so much creative freedom for Del Toro, especially Golden Army, since it's just his own story in the Hellboy world.
Well, what's funny about that is we're talking about Del Toro is that whenever it comes back to Night of the Hunter, because he is a huge fucking fan of that movie. Like whenever they Criterion has somebody talking about it, they have him talking about Night of the Hunter.
Mhm.
All right, now just so you guys know, we have been on here for 40 minutes almost. We're gonna get back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yes.
a Toby Hooper film, and may I also go ahead and throw in there, like, as just a tie-in to some of the other stuff that this show started on. He did work on Tales from the Crypt as well as Perversions of Science too.
And Freddy's Nightmares. He directed the
Well,
the
I was talking
pilot.
about this stuff, like the
Oh.
stuff that the show's
Yeah.
actually,
I know, but
I
still.
mean, like, he's done a lot of really good stuff. I mean, Salem's Lot, Poltergeist, Dancing with Myself is probably the most well-known thing he's ever done.
Well, that's
I'd argue that Billy Idol's Dancing with Myself might be his most watched video.
I had no idea he directed that video.
You did not know that?
Well, David
No.
Fincher directed Madonna's Vogue.
I knew about Fincher directing the music video.
And
yeah,
his music videos, I will put up against anybody else that's making major motion pictures now. I will. His videos are fucking amazing. And if you haven't seen The Killer, it's on Netflix. Fucking watch it. It's so good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he work on Body Bags too? Toby Hooper?
I think so.
yeah. He
Yeah.
was one of
And Masters of Horror.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Hooper was one of the attendants that came in at the end.
I think he
I was
did.
working
I think
on-
he directed a segment too, though. That's what I'm saying.
He might have directed one of the segments, but I know he was one of the morgue attendants that came in and started doing the autopsy on Carpenter's character at the end.
He also worked with George Michael, Trekopedia, so he probably had to keep his pants very tightly fastened.
Wait,
Yes,
George
he did.
Michael from Arrested Development?
No, George Michael
Yes.
from Wham.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes.
I think it's Arrested Development.
Oh God!
I
You
think Rob-
said Wham. Does that mean that we're gonna not make it through this year without hearing that song by them for the holiday season?
Oh,
No,
I actually like that song, but I like the Jimmy Eat World version better.
We need to not get tagged on copyright stuff anymore.
Yeah. But actually, technically speaking, because we brought it up, it's relevant to the conversation, so we could play a little bit of it. That's the new YouTube rules, apparently.
Yeah, I know what they are. Trust me, because they let me know
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, no copyright stuff. No copyright.
I haven't watched Killer on Netflix.
It's David Fincher and Michael Fassbender. Oh, and Tilda Swinton. I mean, come on.
I mean, it sounds good now.
Oh,
I mean,
Tilda Swinton.
maybe-
Okay, yeah, I'm in.
I think you won me with Tilda, but I'll have to check.
She
that
is
out.
arguably one of the best parts of The Dead Don't Die by Jim Jarmusch.
I still have to check that one out.
I saw it in the
what-
theater at a preview show, and I was stuck in the corner in the front
So
in a
it's not
seat that
part of
barely
Texas
held me.
Chainsaw, though.
And it was, yeah, we'll get to that. And I liked it so much that I still went and bought it when it came out. It's just, and plus I'm a big Sturgill Simpson fan, and he did the theme song. And my favorite line is, why does the song keep playing? Oh, it's the theme song for the movie. And then when Bill Murray and Adam Driver are arguing about how much of the script they each got from Jim and in character,
Oh man.
it was so funny. He's like, because Bill's like, he just gave me my lines. Oh, I have the whole script.
Number 2.
Yeah. You know,
So what everybody
just
think of my
like
new
Sean,
glasses?
I work a lot of hours, and
So-
for me to be able to stay up,
So to bring us
be
back to
difficult.
what we're talking about, I want to show you guys. This is the poster I have hanging on my wall.
Oh, ooh, the London version.
Yeah. I was gifted that years back by my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and it has been hanging on my wall ever since.
Well, bring her in so we can thank her.
she's
Tell her-
actually she's not available right now. She's in the middle of something. So
Well, tell her to put her pants back on.
Jesus Christ.
No, if he's doing something, you're doing something wrong, pal.
did you call me?
No.
No, I said Jesus Christ, not
Oh, that's pretty close. Some people
Mm,
call me Jesus Christ. It's like a nickname.
Sure.
mm,
Just because you have a beard.
uh,
What's funny is you mentioned that
Ooh.
Chainsaw would have been a PG-13 nowadays. He was actually going for a G rating, and he would constantly call the MPAA and say, well, I want to put this in there, but would it help me if I didn't show this? And they would be like, well, we can't tell you what to do, but yes.
I really don't understand why this one did get an R rating, honestly.
Well, I guess depictions of violence.
I mean, but it's not.
It's not
There's
graphic
no-
scenes, but it's
there's
definitely
no-
depictions.
There's nothing really
Oh,
that bad.
gratuitous wheelchair.
Gratuitous, free
I-
boobs
I-
and a
I-
tank top.
I can see how the 70s would be against crippled people, and maybe they wouldn't let them be on screen as much.
Are you fucking kidding me? It's 2023 and the world is still against crippled people.
Yeah.
No, if it's ever been more for other people that are just like, I don't know. To me, it seems like the world is for everybody who's not in the norm, if you will. You know,
I'm going to argue that. I'm going to argue with that because when Becoming Undead 3 premiered at a film festival in Kenosha, had I not been walking with a cane at that point instead of being on crutches, I couldn't have gone to the premiere because they didn't have wheelchair access.
they did. Well, I mean, it's really in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I would assume everything.
Tony, I know where you're going with this.
Oh my
Fuck you.
I just assuming like here, for instance, we have bike lanes. I just assumed that Wisconsin had like hover around lanes, the entire fucking everywhere.
Oh my
and
god.
hover around entrances. You know, I assumed everything was a double door in Wisconsin.
Ron might just quit. You know that.
I mean, I'm not going to be here next week, so the big question is will I be back for the next one?
You will.
Because I've lost a ton of fucking weight. I'm at the lowest I've been in years.
I'm not talking about you,
Yeah,
but I told you what I think about Wisconsin that one day, and I showed you the clip.
Yeah, well, you know what? I hope Ohio burns.
I mean, that's fine. There's more shit about Ohio.
I'm going to take Sally and I'm going to take Josh out of Ohio, and then I hope it sets on fire.
He wants you guys to burn, and I was like, don't.
I just said I'm taking them out of Ohio.
I mean, maybe they don't want to leave.
I'm pretty sure Sally would be okay with not being in Ohio anymore.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. But either way. Oh, fucking A, guys. We get sidetracked so fucking bad here. It's really bad. All right, so I mean, like you mentioned though, there's not a lot that can be said about this movie that hasn't been said. It's been around forever. It's one of
Owned by
the
the
most
mob.
watched horror films. I mean, if you haven't seen it, like, you don't even have to fucking pay for this movie anymore. Just watch it on fucking Tubi for free.
It's probably on YouTube.
I mean, it's fucking everywhere. It's a fun movie.
It's one of the most accessible horror films out there for anyone who hasn't seen it.
I mean,
Right.
it's not Night of the Living Dead accessible, but it's up there.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, it's not in the public domain, but I mean, it's on most streaming services. You can still find Blu-ray or DVD copies of it fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
So
No.
There is one version I wanted at a convention I saw, and even though I had like two versions already, but it was the Black Maria version.
oh, I wanted that one so bad, and I
saw it, and it was for sale from what the fuck was the name of the company? Oh God, I forget what it was, but it was their booth, and they had it. And I was talking to the guy. I'm like, dude, how much do you want for this? He's like, $45. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And I kept trying to I'm like, dude, come on, you're gonna have to lug this shit back. So let's work it out here. That's how I got my Dawn of the Dead mug and my Dawn of the Dead what do you call it? Lunchbox, because I was like, he was like a little indie guy, and I was just like, you don't want to lug this around. I don't mind lugging it back home. Instead of paying $60 for the two of them, how about I give you $40 and we call it a day? And then I also threatened to eat him, but that was besides the point.
Jesus.
I can't find out who put it out.
It wasn't Dark Horizons.
Wasn't that was the 40th anniversary?
Yeah.
Who put it out? I'm trying to see here. It looks like I found it right now.
Dark Sky Films.
That's it.
Dark Sky.
Yep.
And yeah, it was. I mean, it's not.
I don't have a 4K player.
I mean, I found it.
I wanted it just so I could have that truck.
Right?
Because it was so freaking cool looking. I was like, my jaw literally hit the floor.
I
It
mean,
was one of those.
I found it for under $25.
That might be something I might be getting myself for Christmas.
I mean, it's not even. Yeah,
It'll go right underneath my Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake sign.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like it's super hard.
And if you have Shudder, you can watch Joe Bob talk about it. And he was actually in contact with a lot of these people, and he's spoken to them. And you find out so much more than we're telling you. And he, at the end when he's talking about how Toby was just kind of blackballed by the fucking film community at the end. You almost see him starting to tear up. And then when fucking Darcy comes on and says that the remake's her favorite because it's gored up more, you can watch his jaw just drop to the floor. And his response, Darcy, are you a millennial? And it's like just right there, I'm like, yep, it's over. Good night.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely an audience for the remake. And don't get me wrong, when I saw it, now keep in mind, I had seen the original way before I saw the remake, and I was like, okay, as a remake, this isn't the worst I've seen.
It's not good though.
Does it stand up to the original? Hell no.
No.
The fact is they relied so much on we need gore, we need violence, we need excessive over the top shit, and you really don't. I get the time period it was made. That was the big thing.
That was like the MTV horror generation, and it was such a shitty fucking era. That's when you got shit like Valentine, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like I for a long time I didn't even know when new shit was coming out unless it was. I remember one of the nicest things ever is that my mom took me and a friend to go see Halloween H2O when it came out.
Sorry.
Well, I mean no, laundry in a dorm room, pretty much tossed on a chair for.
And I'm sure we've all seen the other stuff Darcy has done. So,
yeah, I saw some weird shit that she did, and I never want to see it again.
Yeah, I did a search, and I went, oh, well, okay then.
Yeah,
I never want to see Darcy try and get her daughter on the soccer team by doing that again.
Well,
did she
then
get the daughter on the
soccer?
Well, I mean, if she wanted to toss a salad. If she wanted to toss a salad, they have them pre-made at the store.
God damn it. So, anyways, I'm going to jump back into this movie a little bit.
Yes, let's.
We've already said it's one of the most influential movies as far as horror goes.
Yes. Well, I would also say as much as independent film goes as well.
Well, you're definitely not wrong there. Now,
it shows what you can do on a short time frame and a small budget.
Yes.
Right. And
in 30 days.
Not to mention, like, in my own opinion, this movie, and I don't really care if anybody agrees with me or not. I think the first few minutes, that intro with the camera flickering, and I mean, it's intense. It's in a fucking amazing intro to a horror film, and it might be one of the greatest intros to a horror film ever fucking made or will ever be made. I mean, I could watch that segment alone over and over and over.
It is super creepy. Yes,
it's awesome. That is hands down probably one of my favorite parts about the movie, and it's a perfect fucking beginning. I mean,
the sound of
that
camera bulb going off.
Yes,
and then you get the narration from John Larroquette, which has a very real news feel to it. You're like, what am I about to watch? Because this sounds like I shouldn't be watching this.
What's funny is he got paid in a joint, and he was so hard up for work that Toby asked him, "Can you do an Orson Welles impersonation?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" And then he just did it, and it's but no other intro to any of the other films has been as good as his.
No.
Even when he came back and did it for the remake, it wasn't as good.
He should have just kept his name off of it.
And he's the best part of the Night Court remake.
But anyways, this is, as far as horror movies go in our reviews, I don't do this very often. But in my opinion, I mean, this might be, I think, the second time I've ever done this in the last few years. But this is a 10 for me. I mean, this is, when I'm thinking about watching a horror movie, this is like basically almost a perfect fucking film.
It's like putting on an old pair of slippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to break them in. It's just, it fits. It's perfect. I mean, the gore is not really there. It's all implied. It makes you think. It's intense, suspenseful as hell. I mean, I absolutely love this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't say a single bad thing about it.
It's got that comfort food feel. If you put it on because it's so familiar, you put it on and you're just like, I'm getting what I want out of this every time.
Right.
It's never one of those that gets old.
and Gunnar Hansen. All right.
Oh,
The way he shuts that door, the
Mhm.
way he fucking moves, the way he vocalizes. I mean,
the
there
way
is
he licks his teeth and all that is just
yeah.
like, oh,
Even when you get the close-ups and you see the eye movements. I mean, he is the only person, in my opinion, who has took that character
Mhm.
and made it what it is. Did the best job that you possibly could have done with it. I mean, it, it's amazing. I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't
Yeah.
say a single bad thing. It's
I
great.
years back I bought a mask that was based on the original Bubba mask, the one that he wears throughout most of the film, not the pretty lady, nothing like that. The one you see the most, him wearing like when he's shutting
like the
door.
first thing you see when he kills Kirk.
Mhm. I had that mask, and I decided I was going to dress up as Halloween for Leatherface.
You were gonna dress up as Halloween for Leatherface?
Yeah, dress up as Leatherface for Halloween. Let me get that straight. But what I did was I watched the movie and I studied how he was licking his lips and the sounds he would make, so I could almost mimic them perfectly when I went to work. So I did, and it creeped people out. And I'm like, that's why Gunnar was so good, because he was creepy without being this over the top thing. You're just like, why are you like this? What is going on? And we never got an explanation. It was just, that's just who he is, I guess. There wasn't, oh, well, you see, back when he was born, it's because there was an inbred incest thing going on, and we smacked him in the head with a cow dick at the factory or whatever. It was just, that's who he is. There was no explanation. You didn't need it. This is just a crazy fucking family of cannibals. You didn't need an explanation.
I have some things to show everybody real quick. So
Oh, honestly, I actually have a signed Leatherface picture. I have a signed copy
Ooh.
of.
oh, this is gonna top that.
I have a signed copy of Chainsaw Confessional
All right.
and a picture with him.
So our buddy Sean Smithson, he's a
Yes.
woodworker for Smithson. And I mean, the dude is he's a great guy, good woodworker. I mean, he's done some
Fantastic
projects for me. Great guy.
Yes.
He made
In-
this,
In fact.
but
Oh,
not
that's
only
dope.
did he make this, watch what happened.
Oh my God. John.
Hold on.
Oh wow. Oh.
Jeez.
Ooh. Oh my.
So I mean,
Jerry.
I mean, if you have anything to be proud of, I mean that is fucking amazing.
I mean, just to show you, like, up front and
that's
personal,
awesome.
how good he is at stuff. I still have this.
Oh yeah, dude, I got mine too. I mean,
I use it. I use it when I'm over here streaming and I'm playing video games. And as much as I use it, it has not gotten any wear on it whatsoever.
see, I am gonna say,
And as much as I've come on it, it's just great.
oh, dude, it doesn't even stain
Well,
it.
you're
I will-
you're feeding the wood when
with-
you
with
when
the,
you come on.
That's right. Yes.
With the
I'm
logo
going back into the
changes,
earth.
though, and the free promotion, I was hoping I was gonna get some new ones sent to us. No, I love you, Sean, man. You do an
Wink,
awesome job.
wink.
Yeah. Hey, the offer still goes out to the hockey mask store guy. I will promote the shit out of your stuff if you come on my show, on this show. I don't give a shit.
So that stuff is really cool that he made that and got it signed. I also found, just talking real quick, 'cause we're showing stuff, I found a couple of different posters that I had never seen. So I want to know if you guys had seen these ones.
I think I have, yeah.
Yes, I have seen that.
Okay. Now this one is international.
I have seen that one. As
I have
well.
not seen that one.
I had not. I saw it and I went, that is
I kind of
interesting.
want it now.
Yeah. It's
Does it make you want to suck a finger?
Depends on who's saying it.
the more appropriate question is, what doesn't make me want to suck a finger?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, if there was ever a question worth asking, that would be it.
Okay, please don't. That if you do that, it's gonna ruin certain videos I get sometimes. I'm just like, don't do that. Thank you.
All right. Well, all right. Anyways, let's keep our reviews going.
Yes.
I gave it a 10.
What do you give it, Jeff?
It's like a 10. There's nothing wrong with this movie. I can't find it aside from my hatred of Franklin. That's just the character, but there's always
Right.
going to be a character that
But
annoys
if you would have been able to walk, you would have liked him more.
Oh no, No.
He probably would have been more annoying if he wasn't.
Yeah, because he would have been running around. Sally, we gotta get out of here. Give me the flashlight.
Sally, make out the keys, Sally. I just realized how good of a Franklin I do. I wonder what that says about me.
Do you have a wheelchair?
Sally, I'm in a wheelchair right now, like literally.
I think we got some ideas for your next Halloween costume.
Oh shit! Fuck you, Sally. Stop! I hear something. Sally, stop.
Me not liking Franklin aside, there's not anything I can dissect about this movie in a bad way. Anything you see works. The tension, the uncomfortableness, the discomfort you feel in certain scenes, especially the grandpa scene, even when they're trying to get him to hit her over the head and they just keep trying. It goes on for too long. And you're like, what is the payoff for this? What is happening? Why is this going on for so long? It's
proof positive why horror and comedy are so close together.
Yeah.
It's all about timing.
And the more I watch it, the more I realize there is a comedic tone to it. Like with Grandpa, his arm just he can't hold up.
And look
so
what your brother did to the door. Boy's got no pride in his home.
And now I understand why Toby Hooper was like, well, this is more of a comedy than just a straight horror movie.
It's a dark comedy.
Yeah, and people were like,
Right.
I don't understand it. I'm like, if you look, it's there.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh, it
right
is.
there, plain as
It
day.
is.
You just have to be, watch the movie, you'll see it. Don't
2
watch
is
it
by
as,
far
I'm
more
gonna
of a comedy than.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 goes completely off the fucking rails because
Well,
you know,
we will get to
But,
those movies
yeah.
when we get there. Keep in mind we're doing the whole franchise, guys.
Well,
yeah,
But-
only
this is a 10.
franchise.
I can't find anything bad with this movie. It's 10 for me.
All right. All right. What's the over under? Ron's gonna pick 10 for this one.
He might be more than 10.
So I was told the other day that I'm the film student of this show.
Who told you that?
Don't worry about who told me that.
I'm
the
just
film
curious who the
student.
liar is.
No, hold on. I'm the film student. Jeff is the guy who just likes putting stuff on and watching it because it's fun, and you're the guy who hates everything.
I don't hate everything. I just gave this a fucking 10.
Well, yeah, because everyone would be on your ass.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a film student.
No,
but
I
do
mean,
watch it.
I really do.
And I've made films, so that kind of makes me the film student. But anyway,
I mean,
this is by and large the greatest horror film ever made, but it's not my favorite horror film. All right, that auspice goes to the 1978 Dawn of the Dead. But this is definitely the most influential for me, one of the most influential films of all time, and it is the greatest horror film of all time. There's just something about it that you could never recreate this. Never. This was literal lightning in a bottle, and I hope that the water that came from that rain they used to wash those clothes that Gunnar had on for 30 days straight. Because that shit was stanky. But I am going to give this something I don't normally do. I'm giving it a 0 with a 1 in front of it. I mean a 10. I'm giving it a 10.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Now looking back, I think Ron has given out the same amount of 10s as I have.
I gave a 10 to Evil Dead 2.
Me too.
Yeah, and
that was it for me.
what else did I give a 10 to?
Nothing. There's nothing.
Wait, didn't I give Friday 2 a 10?
No.
What did I give it?
I think you give that like a 9, 9.5, something like that.
Oh, I think Warrington Gillette ruined some of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have the only 2 10s and they're the same ones. And I mean,
That's fucked up.
think about that for a minute.
Just wait till you hear what I give 3D.
I think this was the first 10 I've given since I've been on here.
Yeah.
It's a unanimous 10, so this is
But
arguably
then
the...
again, if you would have watched Evil Dead 2, and
Yeah,
now
what would you-
I love Evil Dead 2. So if I was odd, I would have probably given that a 10 as well.
See?
'Cause it's fucking amazing.
Okay, so I know we're never going to do
loved
this.
the first one, but the second one is
I know we're never going to get to the Romero stuff, so let's just do it now. Real quick, what would you hold on. What would you give Night of the Living Dead on a 1 out of 10?
the original,
Yes.
A 9.
Jeff?
9.5.
I would do the same, mainly because there are points where it starts to really fucking drag. And
But- Go ahead. Sorry.
but I was just gonna say that means that it kind of puts Chainsaw above Night of the Living Dead. But they're both super fucking influential.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
You
can
know,
argue that.
yeah, and
Well-
it's like, and then there's movie like The Phantom Carriage. There's Metropolis, but I'm also getting really fucking like Turner Classic Movies on people right now. So
Well, you are, but I mean, I fully understand that. But now, even though I give Night of the Living Dead, the original, a 9, I'll also say that Night of the Living Dead, the remake, I would probably give an 8.5, 9 too. As
see,
well.
I think that might be the greatest remake ever.
You know, I mean, and even though you're not as much of a fan as I am of the Saska twins, I'd even argue that their version of Rabid is up there with the original too.
Oh, I love the original so much.
Have you ever seen the remake?
I don't want to, so
No,
I can't talk about it.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, if you do get the chance, I'm telling you, man,
If I can watch it
that-
for free, I'm not paying for that shit.
I'm not sure if you can or not. I mean,
And the only reason I'd watch it is because of who's in it.
I'm going to tell you though, man. I mean, their
Punk's in it.
version of Rabid is great. I don't care what anybody says.
I've
Yeah, the
seen
Blob
original
remake is
and the
really good,
remake,
too.
And the Blob remake is amazing.
But
Yeah.
but I'm still going to say, you know what? The greatest. This might be going a little too harsh with it, but technically, the greatest remake of all time would be Evil Dead 2.
Technically, the greatest remake of all time is The Fly.
The Fly is up there.
I'm
Or The
gonna
Thing.
I'm gonna say The Fly and The Thing are kind of tied in my head
Yeah.
because
I mean,
they're just
The
so-
Fly is really good.
We should do an episode where we just talk about the top 10 horror remakes of all time.
You know what? I think we'll do that as a buffer between this and Leprechaun.
So Ron, Peacock with ads has Rabid as well as
Well, I pay for
Voodoo.
Peacock so I can get
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I can get my WWE.
So Rabid is on Peacock and it's also on Voodoo with ads. So you can probably watch it without ads since you pay for Peacock.
Yeah. I also want to see the that one new horror one that's on Shudder now. It's a knife Christmas or something.
Oh, it's a wonderful
Yeah.
knife.
Yeah. TCM is on everything. Trekopedia. I'm pretty sure there's a fucking blimp going by your house right now you're about to see Pam get put on a hook.
Right.
I can actually pull up and tell you exactly where
It's
TCM
literally on everything. I looked it up.
Pluto, 2B,
No, it's on Pluto.
Crackle.
We got Pluto.
Crackle.
Do people even use Crackle still?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that Sony's?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think Sony owns that.
Yeah. Peacock Premium, AMC Plus, the Roku channel, Tubi, Shudder, Pluto TV, Shudder through Amazon Prime, Screenbox through Amazon Prime, Plex, Freevee, and AMC Plus on Apple TV is everywhere you can find Texas Chainsaw. So
It's not
no
public
EXP.
domain, but they're trying to make all the money that they can back from it because the mob owns it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's why when you play the game, which I haven't played in a while,
I still
yeah.
have to fire it up. I
It's,
own it, but I haven't.
it's so good. But the problem is like that's why you're not going to get a chop top. You know, you're not going to get anything from any movies after because they're all owned by different studios, and those rights issues are a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Well, like any franchise.
I mean, I would
that
love-
happens.
I still need to play the Texas Chainsaw game, but I would love if they could get all that sorted and give us like a Chainsaw 2 DLC and things like that.
Yeah.
It would be awesome to be able to
A
go
lot of the
in
new
and-
DLC ends up
but-
being like there's a Greg Nicotero skin now for Leatherface, which is amazing, kind of like Jason's Tom Savini skin.
Mhm.
But it's yeah, a lot of like the new characters that come out are created for the game itself. But
can
it's
see that.
yeah, it's whatever. You know, I just want more maps.
You know, now going back kind of to Texas Chainsaw and these movies,
Mhm.
why didn't we ever just like, if they're gonna do any remakes, any prequels, anything else with this series, I think the only thing I honestly can say that I might have interest in watching is the story of Grandpa.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
A grandpa prequel.
You know, I mean, let's be honest. What they say? 60 people in 5 minutes.
No, cows.
Oh, is it cows?
That's even worse. That's harder
I mean, is it though?
because cows got thicker skulls than we do.
I mean, either
Yeah.
way. I mean, like that is fucking. I mean, that has to be a sick movie. I'm all in.
That's the story we should have got, and
Instead of
the
Leatherface.
remake and beginning.
Right. Do you know how
Went
fucking
going
pissed off
into-
PETA would be watching 60 cows get bashed?
Fuck PETA,
in
they
by-
kill animals anyway.
Well, I'm just saying in general, like that movie would cause a fucking uproar.
Wait, why would PETA get upset? Aren't they the people eating tasty animals?
I know PETA's accused of stealing people's pets and killing them. So
I need to step away from my dog.
Ooh.
yeah,
So how big is your dog now?
My dog?
Yeah, because I showed a picture. Remember that picture you sent when she was a puppy?
Yeah.
Showed it to my lady friend. She's like, "Oh, puppy." I'm like, "Yeah, not anymore."
I mean, she's
10 minutes later, she ate New York.
she's pretty big. I mean, if you want, I could try to go get her.
I mean,
Yeah, why not?
Age-wise,
Well, let me
is
go
a
ahead. I'll
puppy.
drop myself below and let you guys chat for a second.
All right. No, I would love to do a grandpa prequel.
Oh.
Or a series. You know, that's another thing is I was watching Red Letter Media talk about Friday the 13th, and Mike Stoklasa was saying that they should do a Crazy Ralph prequel. What did he see? What does he know?
I would love to know the story of Crazy Ralph, because did he work at the camp and he saw what went down and he knows, or what?
Or he was involved and maybe he's really Jason's father.
Oh, you imagine.
Well, Victor Miller writes fucking, what do you call it? Hey, Speeds. Victor Miller writes what do you call them? Soap operas. So that would be perfect.
Yeah.
And it would explain why Jason's fucked up, because Elias is supposed to be like this big brooding guy. He wouldn't be giving his seed wouldn't be shooting out fucking hydrocephalic.
Yeah. No, that's that's so interesting. I never thought about focusing on Crazy Ralph.
Yeah. Well, apparently Crystal Lake got pushed back further.
Oh,
because Brian Fuller is suing. Who are they? My buddy just sent it to me because he's like, because I told him I'm looking for some writing work in entertainment, and I told him I want to write for Crystal Lake. Pause with the strikes. They say it's still in the works, but Fuller has a defamation suit he's bringing against Queer for Fear. So who knows what's going on?
Oh,
because if you don't know, Brian Fuller's gay, folks.
I honestly didn't know that. Not that it matters.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. When I find out, that's the thing. When I find out somebody's gay, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't care.
Like, I mean, early on when I was watching the Child's Play movies, I had no idea that Don Mancini, like, I knew he was behind it. I didn't know. And then later I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. And
if you watch Seed of Chucky, it kind of tells you. But
yeah. By that point, I knew. Yeah. By that point, I knew.
But John Waters is in it, but
oh man.
I
do want to say, going back to Texas Chainsaw, the set design on this movie,
amazing. Also,
amazing.
What's funny is the set designer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre was also the set designer for Tourist Trap. And if you haven't seen Tourist Trap, fucking watch Tourist Trap. It is so fucking good, and it's Chuck Connors completely out of fucking character.
I have seen Tourist Trap.
It's so good, and it felt like a chainsaw movie. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see.
All right, hold on.
First time I watched Tourist Trap, just to touch on that real quick while he's doing his thing. While he's getting the dog.
While he's putting peanut butter in his mouth.
I didn't like it. Then I watched it with riff tracks and I was like, okay, it's better. Then I watched it alone again.
Holy fuck.
Jesus Christ.
How old is she?
She's 6 months. Oh, Xena, you good girl. I mean,
look at that dog.
Look at that dog. I pet that dog. Can I pet that dog?
I mean, she's gotten pretty big.
She's still tiny to me.
Stubborn as fucking hell, dude. I mean, it took me that long to get her to walk down my hallway. And I had treats in my hand. She just wouldn't move.
She's not gonna be very stubborn when you get her insides cut out.
Oh my god, dude. Well, I mean,
about that time, 6 months.
Whoa, no. Me and my wife were talking, and oh my god, this is probably. We're gonna get a Newfoundland, and we're gonna start breeding them.
So you want something that will eat New York for sure.
For Christ's sake.
I mean, that's just a baby, dude. The Saint
Xena
Bernards
takes New York.
they don't get full grown till 2 years.
Fucking balls.
So I mean, we're at a quarter of her life right now, and I mean,
Man.
you saw how big her head is. I mean, her head's bigger than me. She's fucking. She's a monster.
I mean, she stood up on you and you were dwarfed in that chair. She was like a good whole head above you. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You know what's funny though is I love bigger dogs because I always like, comparatively speaking, dogs are mainly really tiny for me. And I went over to my friend's house because she's a nurse and she snuck me some medical supplies like this 10 years ago. And I had to have something cut off my arm and she snuck me a bunch of gauze and tape and the whole thing. And I go over to her house. I'm standing outside talking to her.
By the way,
and
more work from Sean Smith's in.
oh, it's so awesome.
That's laser. So
And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to her and all of a sudden I just start hearing. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, oh, that's our Great Dane in the side yard.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, why is it bring it out? I want to pet it. No, that's the noise she makes when she's scared of things. When she's scared of me? Scooby. Oh, it's Scooby. So yeah, should have given it a joint.
And yes, she's still Bernard.
Yeah.
Saint Bernard. Yes. And 10 minutes later, she ate New York, and Saint Bernards don't move a whole lot, but they're protective as fuck. If they sense danger, they will. Yeah. I mean, me and the girls. I mean, she's very, very, very protective, but a great dog. And
no, Sean, not at all.
Yeah, for real, it is.
Nah, I would have thought you vaguely had any kind of idea of what the movie was.
Is that movie with that chainsaw in it?
She's about 6 months old.
3 weeks old.
Right.
Yeah,
and
she was just born. That's why her hair is still wet.
He's just feeding her steroids and puppy chow.
Yeah.
Now let me type it out. Her legal name, registered everything.
The food they're giving her is a GBH, great big hairy bitch. Oh God.
You know, my grandfather on my dad's side, he used to have a Doberman that looked intimidating as hell. But my brother and I would go over there, and it was the biggest fucking softie. But that dog would back down anyone that came near that property.
Xena Warrior Princess Bustle.
That is her real name. And
Can
I'm
she
talking
do
my wife
the
into it. She's
battle
okay
call?
with naming the Newfoundland Hercules, but I'm going to throw in a middle name of Legendary Journey. So, I mean...
I mean, you could have gone with what was?
Well, then
Bruce
again,
Campbell's character.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. What was Bruce Campbell's character?
Since the Newfoundland's going to be younger than her, I could name him Young Hercules.
I'm just saying, get away from naming.
Name it Young Indiana Jones.
Young Einstein.
Yes, Young Einstein.
Just don't name it Young Sheldon, because fuck that show.
All right.
Nah, just the bourbon.
I mean, if anybody wants to donate to the PayPal over at talesfromthepodcast.com, I mean, let's be honest, that collar, those barrels, it's not even a fucking collar. I think it's like $75-$80 for one of those.
We'll just go back out on the street and work a little bit more. Jesus Christ, you lazy cocksucker.
I'm done with that. I already told you, man.
Yeah, after you gave me herpes, what's up?
I mean, I only had one mission.
Look,
I was sent from the future to give you herpes.
So if you want to name the dog
I'll come
after something
fast.
from Xena, you can go with one of Ted Raimi's characters as Joxer.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to find
Or the
other
Asian
one.
guy from his name is Bruce.
My name is Bruce.
Yeah,
That is probably one of
No.
my favorite movies of all time.
and the most racist character ever.
I mean, according to some.
You mean everybody?
It is.
People with a breath?
I mean, that sure, there might be a hint of racism in that character, but that is one of the funniest fucking movies that you watch. It's great.
I have to go back and watch My Name is Bruce again because I've only seen it one time and I don't remember a whole lot.
I mean, you're not wrong. The worst part is like she's such a big dog, and she's so, like she fits the name of warrior princess well.
I found Bruce Campbell's character from
Collars and
Hercules,
everything.
Autolycus.
Yes.
You should name the dog Autolycus because naming it Hercules after that show means you're giving Kevin Sorbo some kind of credit, and that guy
Yeah.
doesn't deserve fuck anything.
No, he deserves a kick in the ass with a steel-toed boot.
I was
Well, that's
watching.
why I was going to go with young Hercules because I mean, Ryan Gosling's done nothing but great shit.
Well, that's. I mean, I want to see Fall Guy.
that. I'm interested because I used to watch the show.
Exactly. I used to love Lee Majors. I used to have the little airplane that you squeeze the trigger and the fucking propeller goes. You put the finger on
what
top.
you're talking about. I never had it, but I saw it.
I used to have. Oh, fucking Fall Guy is awesome.
But
yeah, what's funny is you said in
oh,
my head, you said it was Lee Majors, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
I knew that, but in my head, I went with Lee Horsley, who was the guy that was on Matt Houston, which was right around that same fucking time, and I have that stuck in my head too.
That reminds me, Truckopedia, I gotta watch the new Doctor Who that got posted today.
I am so far behind on Doctor Who. It's not even
I've
funny.
never seen an episode of Doctor Who.
You're missing out.
I mean, it sounds so stupid, but two of my like guilty pleasure kind of shows where I kind of get hooked every time I just start watching them, I just won't stop, is Doctor Who
And say yes to the dress? Oh.
Quantum Leap.
Oh.
I've never seen Quantum Leap either.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
It wasn't.
I'm too young to like Quantum Leap as much.
You
as
really are.
Growing up, I wasn't a huge science fiction guy. I've come to appreciate it more the older I get. So I want to go back and watch it.
I appreciate good sci-fi. I can't stomach the shitty stuff now that I'm older. Like, I also listen to sad bastard music a lot, too.
Like, I've only seen a handful of episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. I've never seen any of the original series.
It is.
But
Truckopedia, I saw last week when it first posted, and I'm very excited. I was supposed to save it to watch with my lady friend, but our schedules are just not lining up, so I'm just going to watch it and be like, yeah, whenever you're free.
Marky Post.
So wasn't Heather Locklear, too?
I think so.
Or was that just TJ Hooker, which is the story of my life, but
right.
Totally jaundiced Hooker.
Now,
God
damn it, dude. We've been here for almost an hour and a half now, and we've barely touched the movie, which is fine. Like we said, there's just so much.
There's so much. I mean, go if you haven't seen
fortunately,
it, why are you here?
The
Go
rest of the
watch it.
sequels, I don't feel have had any attention, and like for
No, I think part 2 that we're gonna be talking about is one that not a lot of people have actually given.
I would
attention
argue that 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
or 2, 3 Next Generation, however you want to look at it, most people probably don't even know anything about.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I went to go see a double feature of 1 and 2 right after Toby died, because we have a theater up in Bayview that does that. Like when Romero died, they showed Night of the Living Dead, and they did a double feature for Toby. And I'm sitting there watching in the theater, and people are, for some reason, they're laughing during the first one, like heartily belly laughing. And I'm just like, okay, I can see you doing that in part 2. You know, but the only part I laughed in was like, look what your brother did to the door. And, I mean, on my Twitch, that's one of my fucking alerts. If you follow the channel, it pops up and says, look what your brother did to the door. But it's just kind of like that 2, even though 2 was great. And the first time I ever saw 2, I rented it when I was like 19, and I was working at I was 16, and I was working at a grocery store as a bagger. And I remember I was getting picked up for work. I tried taking a nap. I had a really bad headache. You know, when you get those migraines right in the fucking front, and you can't focus on anything. It's funny because that happened when I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 and Chainsaw 2. And I'm watching it. I'm just like, and then the last part where she's standing, I don't want to spoil too much for people who haven't seen it, kind of want to watch along with us, but yeah, that's going to be heartbreaking, Truckopedia. But when she's standing at the top and she's dancing with the chainsaw, that's all I'm going to say. I felt like I was going to throw up from it. I felt that was too gory. That's how bad my headache was. But then when you go back and you watch them, like as controversial as part 2 is in both respects, I think they're fantastic pictures. You know, it's just when you get to stuff like Next Generation. And
Don't give.
yeah.
We got episodes on those movies.
And Freddy's
That's
dead.
why I'm not saying I have stuff in my head about part 2, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying it because that's for next.
But
week.
no, I'm just saying, like, that scene in particular shouldn't have wanted to make me throw up. It was because of the headache, and
Yeah.
it's just like the
Exactly.
noise and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's other things that could probably elicit you wanting to
Yeah.
throw up in that movie.
In that movie, besides that, yeah.
But I can see Ron giving a little bit, since he won't be here next week, giving a little bit of his thoughts.
Well,
on
no, we're
the
not
other
doing it
thing.
next week.
No, we are
Oh,
not.
no, that's right.
Next
that's
week
right.
we
That's
are
being
going
pushed
to
out.
push
That's right, 2 weeks.
forward a Christmas episode for everybody.
Because
I
I have Blank
apologize.
Fest next weekend.
And
I
the
do
movie
apologize.
is not available yet for regular audiences, but will soon be available for
Just for
people.
perverts like JB. What?
And I will say, James Dean is going to be joining us, as well as a friend of the show, somebody who's been on quite a few times already, our friend Morgan Thompson. And we are going to be talking about XXXmas. And we got a screener to watch and chat about this a little bit. And it should be a pretty fucking fun time. So I'm excited for that. And on both ends of it, I mean, Ron doesn't get to miss a Texas Chainsaw movie.
There we
So
go.
I mean, you can't beat
See,
that as well.
I completely did not realize the schedule. You had told me, and I blanked, so I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So
Don't
I
worry,
mean,
I will be ready for next week. Don't worry.
oh, it's going to be a fun one. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's an indie Christmas horror comedy, with horror having two kind of meanings there, if you will. It's
Excited
going.
to break out the ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh, it's going to be a fun one. I mean, it's
At
it really is.
At this point next week, I'm going to be in a bar full of rednecks drinking Coors Light, waiting for
Wishing he
this-
was watching Triple
Wishing I was watching Triple But to be fair, though, to be completely fair, which is a line I've never used in my life until I met JB. To be fair, if you are in the southeastern Wisconsin area next weekend, to be far, please come out to Blankfest, 3700 Meacham Road in Racine. The only way you can get in is to bring a blanket or toiletries or something along those lines. If you don't have something, it's a $10 admission to get in. All the money, all the items we collect, all go to the homeless. And you're able to we're able to fill all the shelters in town and for the entire year, and we usually have money left over in case they need something closer. We're also looking big time now for like hand warmers, and they have body warmers now too that you can get. So I'm kind of checking to see, you know, what the availability of that kind of stuff is. And this is our 17th year. So if you want more information, hit me up on social media everywhere at I'm Uncle Ron. Also, if you want to read my article that I wrote where I talk about how Leatherface is a sympathetic villain, hit me up and I'll send you the link to that. And then this Tuesday on the Ron Perti show, we're going to be talking about a time I went I went out with a woman, ended up in Illinois, and was physically, like, mentally scarred.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
It's very exciting.
And what about Jeff? What does Jeff have going on since we're closing us off now?
Oh, what do I have going on? I don't even know anymore. No, as you guys know, I host the Skewered Universe podcast with my wife Leanne. We just finished up Nick Cage November. We were only able to get 2 movies in, but we finished it off with Renfield, which
That already sounds like too much Nick Cage.
no. You can never have too much Nick Cage. So go check that out. It's available now. We just released it on Thursday, so you guys can check it out all across the board on all pod catchers, the YouTube channel for audio episodes. You can even head over to skeweredhead.com, find it there along with links to all of our social media. We're just Skewered Universe, search it everywhere. And you can also find a link to our Patreon there where you can support the show.
Awesome.
And we have Christmas episodes coming up for December, which is all about Christmas horror. So
Christmas whores.
Christmas
Damn it.
horror movies.
Well,
Horror.
if you want to do a regular Christmas one,
horror.
I got a Christmas episode I've been wanting to do with you and talk to you about maybe.
Okay.
Probably one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time.
Let's see what you did there, Sean.
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, if you're gonna have a face off with any of these actors, and you really want something rock solid, you go with Nick Cage. Okay,
Or his
I
girlfriend
wish
Mandy.
somebody would have really ripped his face
I still got
off.
to see Mandy.
Oh, man.
That was on the docket to see, but I couldn't get to it, so I went with Renfield because I really want to give Mandy the attention it deserves from everything I've heard.
That sounds like Con Air to me.
Put the bunny in the box.
All right.
Put it back in the box.
Also,
And then we're on our way to leave Las Vegas.
Tales of Shock and Terror. Get your copy at talesfromthepodcast.com.
And after we do leave Las Vegas, we're going to raise Arizona.
On our way there, we'll stop by Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Maybe, but you know what? I'm gonna have to drive angry.
You know what, though? I got into a fight with a snake, and I was only once bitten.
But you know what? If we got to head out, we got to be gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah, but oh, fuck you! You know what? When I first saw Nick Cage, I was moonstruck.
Oh.
You know, sometimes my wife calls me a pig.
Well, that's why you guys will never be a good mom and dad.
But it's you know, I just can't deal with the unbearable weight.
I
of
feel
talent.
like this is all fucking Sean's fault.
It kind of is. And you can not deal.
I'm Kal-El from Krypton.
I mean, that's like, but ultimately though, if you have the unbearable weight of massive talent, it could also just be a dream scenario.
I mean, yeah.
But if you keep doing your show, it could be a really good retirement plan.
You know, I'm not a weatherman.
Oh well, but you are a Lord of War.
I'm trying to see if you guys are going to fit Wicker Man into this.
I don't want to.
No. But
Okay.
there might be a time coming off where I'll have to take off because I just found out that my cousin Peggy Sue is going to get married.
Yeah, but are you when you go there, are you going to have to just listen to the life of David Gale again?
Now, just curious, do both of you have Nicolas Cage's IMDb up right now?
No,
Yes,
I do not. I do not. This is all off the top of my head.
I had to because I'm reaching for the right because the
I
motherfucker
know
puts
you
out
do,
so much
Ron. I can
shit.
see it on your fucking glasses.
You know what? I'm changing my glasses back then. Fuck this frame.
Okay. Anyways, Tales of Shock and Terror. Get your copy of talesfromthepodcast.com. We have a Patreon there. You might want to join us soon because we have a video game coming out, and that's going to be the first place you can get it.
We does.
You know, so I mean, check that shit out. We got cool shit going on there. Also on the Patreon, you can win a date with Uncle Ron. I'm going to have to put on some kind of disclaimer about the herpes now, but it still might be worth it.
I hate you so much.
Oh, fucking.
But then his wife died, and she left him all this yarn, and the box that it came in was wicker, man.
That was quite the fucking stretch.
It worked. I don't care.
Oh man.
Fuck y'all. It worked.
All right. Yeah, check us all out, talesfromthepodcast.com. You can find all of our links to everything there. Remember, like, share, follow. I mean, what else can you do, really? Do all those things. If not, just fuck yourself.
You won't get herpes that way.
No, you won't. Fuck yourself, no herpes. Fuck Ron, extra herpes.
I mean, you don't
Fuck
need
JP,
sympathy
you get extra. You get super herpes.
Look, we're not about sympathy for the devil. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All right.
I wish I wasn't knowing this conversation.
I don't know jujitsu, and I don't live on a Grand Isle, but I am primal.
Okay, now you're looking shit up.
Yeah. No, I
All right.
had to grab my phone and see.
God
I was
fucking
like,
damn it.
shit.
He's almost done more shit than Liam Neeson.
Oh fuck, that would be. Whew.
Drive hard. Like, everyone's
Drive hard. The Dewey Cox story.
Drive hard.
All right, you guys have anything else to add? Any more Nicolas Cage stuff before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
Mm.
Remember,
If you're a Nick
next
Cage
week-
fan, go listen to our episodes on
There
Skewed
you go.
Universe.
Yeah, because the
Another
Obscured
shameless
Universe is just a national treasure.
All right, and remember, check out everything Tales from the Podcast. And next week, Triple Xmas, and then we will be jumping right back into Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So it's family, bitch.
So with that being
Franklin
said,
deserved it.
the crypt is
Look
closed.
what your brother did to the door.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.